We're not ring. Oh yes, it's good to be back to do what you love to do most. Passion. So good afternoon to you. This is State of the Nation. I am glad to be back. I asked God for something and God has given me it. The Lord spared my life. Let me see the transition of this democratic credential of my country. Hey, sickness, where have you come from? I rebuke you. Off and on, man. Listen to this one. That is the part I like. Shouting for the Lone Stars banner. Good afternoon to you. State of the Nation returns on the airwave. My name is Christopher Kolbasia for SELLEE. I have been on my feet, battling tonsillitis. What do you call groving the throat as a result of extreme cold in the system? God be on my side. I beat it back with some antibiotics. Oh, but before then, swallowing was so difficult for me. That was just after graduating from malaria attack. Hey, come on, what are you doing, man? Man, my uncle will be Blackie. My man, take some rest out, look for some money, go overseas and do your medical. Hey, man. Thank you for your good advice. Liberia is on the rising. You never, anyone who doesn't love you will never give you such advice. But I decided to take the risk to do the medical checkup here. I did a scan, a comprehensive medical checkup, and now I know my problem. Liberia is on the rise. You imagine when a lot of men is told not to eat tobacco anymore or processed oil. Hey, it's not easy on me, my people. Please join me in prayer. When a Loma man, 100% Loma man, is told not to eat tobacco anymore, at least to reduce the cholesterol, to decholesterize your system. Oh man, very difficult to hold, but I have to because I want to live like my aunt, my father's only sister living now. Out of 27 children, she's now 97 years old. And in fact, it is because of that reason, she told me she wanted to vote. It is because of that reason I registered in district number 4, because I'm going to accompany Auntie Suni Baba SELLEE told the ballot box for her to cast a ballot. It's not my business to ask her who she wants to vote for, but on that day, because of her illiterate nature, she will have to tell me this is one I want to vote for. And God, so help me God, I'm going to do it just what she requests. So today is what? It's on the 18th day of September 2023. We got so many, very few days to go now, a few weeks to go to the elections. And everybody is on their feet. Everyone is nervous, bashful, everyone emotional. Who knows what could produce? We got a lot to talk about it this afternoon. Magdalene is not here. She's attending an engagement organized by the ECOWAS Commission Office in Monrovia. Media and security personnel ahead of the election. She's going to be there for 3 days, and yeah. So I found somebody, a possible replacement for her for the next 3 days. Princess Zuza. Good afternoon to you, Princess. How are you?
Good afternoon, Chief Chris.
No, don't say Chief Chris. You are my colleague right now. What you call Chief Chris? This morning you say Uncle Chris. I said, no, don't call me Uncle Chris. Call me Mr. SELLEE.
Okay.
Mr. SELLEE. How are you doing, Princess?
I'm fine.
Okay, so welcome to State of the Nation. I think this is your second time you were here. Last time I was monitoring from home, and you guys had a wonderful time. You know, whenever somebody mentions my name about being the reason for their entry into the media landscape, I feel so proud. And that is the reason why I am a proud man within the SAAH family, George SAAH family, as a result of Magdalene's matriculation into high-profile media maneuvering. So we just ended through her instrumentality. I was sick. Everybody knows it. You know, that presidential debate, I was not at my best because I was recovering gradually, and the hall was so cold. And imagine, you know, what somebody is coming from. This is my first time for me to see aftermath of a half fever, and then the blisters are all coming on top of my eyes. Oh yes, on my lips, my eyes, and in my nostril. So they're very, very severe, and I'm happy to have recovered. God first. So while Magdalene is away, we will introduce Princess Zuza to join us in these productions. Princess, I'm told that last time I heard you're having some wonderful time in the newsroom.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You need to put smiles on your face, eh? They put the camera on your face. Yeah. You put,
Okay.
Yeah. Zuza, is that a Liberian name?
Well, that thing got a big history behind it.
Oh, okay.
It's a Liberian name. No.
I always not something to render you emotional. It sounds sweet, man. It's a rhyming word, Zuza.
Yeah.
Which country is that?
Well,
Moserado?
No, not from Moserado. But that name is actually from Liberia. Well, I can't say much about it because, yeah. Right. But when I did a research, and it also told me that it's a foreign name, Zuza.
Zuza, foreign name. The Spanish people use it mostly. I don't know whether you're from Spain. You got any link from Spain? The Spanish people use it.
So when I checked on it, it was like the meaning of it is a Jewish name.
Jewish.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Welcome to State of the Nation. So we're going to do it. We're going to produce here. We've already produced. Sorry, we're going to present here. Along the way, we are expecting Louis Brown. He's going to make a second appearance in less than a week. And then at 4 o'clock, we play host to Samuel Jackson, a supporter of the George Weah second bid. But before that, we're going to do some analysis on yesterday's crowd called by the United Party and some speculations around that. The president is away attending the UN General Assembly. From all indication, according to information to the best of my knowledge, the president left the shores of Accra yesterday and flew into Paris and in transit and is on his way to the United States. That's New York, to be specific. What could possibly, or any way you want to put it, but his last, for this term, let me qualify it that way, his last attendance to the UN General Assembly. The last time a list was leaked, 29 members of the delegation. I called the presidential press secretary. He said the listing was fake, and that goes on. But nobody knows. Let me see whether I can get any information from the executive mansion of the composition of the president's trip to the UN General Assembly. We also go to Washington, D.C. We're told that the Liberian embassy in Washington, D.C. on a just close to the embassy of the Democratic Republic of Congo in the Washington, D.C. area have been halfway paralyzed. We will talk to Gabriel Williams. Gabriel Williams, once upon a time, served as press counselor at the Liberian Mission in Washington, D.C. So, claims and counterclaims. The judge will ask for $20,000 for airport services in Paris, Mille Airport Salon. If it is true, well, we will ask the question, what did he request when these UN General Assembly's travels are budgeted and monies are available? Any other money collected out of the budget is out of the budget and could be termed as violation of the budget law. So, but let's take first Orange Liberia. Orange is Liberia's biggest GSM company. No even about that. So this is Orange Liberia, our greatest partner in radio broadcasting.
We don't worry about it. There's a package for me. There's a package for you. There's a package for everyone. I can reach out my Western Australia and enjoy with pocket and
to activate now, star 888 or subscribe to my Orange app. $1 gives you 50 minutes on net calls and 5 minutes off net calls, or the same dollar gives you 500 megabytes of data. Valid 24 hours. Enjoy using the best mobile network, certified by Ookla second time in a row. Visit our website, www.orange.com.lr, or call 111 for more information. Brings you closer to what matters. Orange.
Raptor, the internet, and follow data. Internet and one Raptor in my house, yeah. Let me run 9 content for me and the family.
Get your home internet router from any Orange store or POS around the country and enjoy football data packs that start from $9 for 10 gigabytes valid 30 days to $59 for 125 gigabytes valid 30 days. There's a pack for everyone. Enjoy using the fastest speed internet. Brings you closer to what matters. Orange.
Yes, coming to the end of no worry. How was it my city son? I saw him last week episode.
What's going on? You can't hear?
Just know what the business. Don't worry, I got the perfect solution for you. I heard it on the radio.
Put it on.
More possibilities.
Put it on. Just put it on.
Orange Energy, the reliable solution to all problems. Inspired by the sun and changing lives. One beam at a time. Brighter days are here. Orange Energy provides reliable at affordable rates. With solar kits starting at $6,565 Liberian dollars and monthly payments starting at $1,600 Liberian dollars. Visit any of our stores or to purchase your kit. Brings you closer to what matters.
Okay, so yes, we have to acknowledge your Orange Liberia, but let's get the sound back a little bit before we can move on to another thing. I'll make some telephone calls to Magdalene. Let's get this one up quickly as we prepare.
Of Liberia's government are breaking their silence. They had kept quiet after the U.S. Treasury imposed sanctions on them in August, accusing them of corruption. Nathaniel McGill, the president's chief of staff, denies the misappropriation of public funds and of instructing warlords to threaten political rivals. He says the U.S. has got it wrong, that it's a case of mistaken identity.
But somebody may have misled them. Somebody may have told them a story that's not correct. And there are people out there who are using my name. That is a fact. It's a fact. And then reported people have been arrested. But somebody may say McGill is doing it, but I'm not the guy who's doing it.
The country's Solicitor General, who used to run a publication called The Plain Truth, says the U.S. accusation are all lies. He blames his former boss, the Minister of Justice, for any wrongdoing.
The Minister of Justice should be accused of all those things. He receives documents, he reviews contracts, he signs contracts. Never in my life, since I became Solicitor General, even Petitia is the Minister of Justice.
The men have been suspended by President George Weah. The former football star was elected in 2017 on a campaign promising to fight for the rights of poor people. His goal was to eradicate corruption and poverty. Retired civil servant Paul Flomo has hoped that Weah's presidency would bring change. He's appalled that government officials are now accused of stealing millions of dollars from the state coffers, from which he gets his small pension. Not only is his $60 a month pension rarely paid on time, it is a meager sum compared to the $5,000 a month salary members of parliament receive. Most Liberians live on less than $2 a day. With rising costs, what was once affordable is now a luxury. Mr. Flomo can no longer afford to buy fish or meat. Sending his daughters and grandchildren to school is now beyond his means.
It's the priority of government to see about the welfare of citizens. If the welfare of citizens are not being stopped, then we will the government.
Weah says the economic fallout from the Ukraine war and COVID are the cause of his country's financial woes. His political opponents say management of public funds is the real reason. Following the imposition of American sanctions, an investigation is underway. The U.S. is Liberia's main international donor, and while both men are close friends with the president, in times of economic hardship, the United States is one partner Weah's government cannot afford to ignore or lose. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera, Monrovia.
Okay, so going back into history, let's see whether we can connect Magdalene. Magdalene is at a local hotel downtown Monrovia, where she's Magdalene is now live on the line. Maggie, good afternoon to you. You say what? Okay, so when you're ready, please let us know. While we are awaiting you, there's a country breaking apart. Who's gonna care for us? Listen to the wordings. DJ Christopher, State of the Nation. The country has been falling apart. So we want to know before it's too late. In whom we trusted so much. Let's bring this one down to go to Magdalene. We will take it from the top. Maggie, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to the people of Liberia.
Guess who's sitting in your seat? No, Princess Zuza.
Oh, that's my dear princess.
Yes. So tell me, where are you today in Monrovia?
Yeah, I'm at the Bolivar Palace Hotel in Monrovia, attending ECOWAS engagement to enhance the role of media and CSOs to support the conduct of credible and peaceful elections in Liberia.
Okay, that's good. So who are those attending? And what is ECOWAS telling you the essence of this kind of a gathering?
All right, so we have journalists in attendance from different media institutions, from both print and electronic, and we also have partners as well, members from the civil society organizations. Yes, so and we
Go,
want to come in.
no, go on, Chief.
Okay, so the German ambassador to Liberia, EU couldn't have this morning. I didn't see them around because I think they had 1 or 2 engagement, and that's what we were told. But the residence representative, Madam Josephine Krumah, in her opening statement this morning, stressed the issue of this misinformation, especially during this time of this crucial time in our country. And she wants media
owners, she wants media institutions, journalists to remain very civil, should keep the peace, and we should not take anything for granted. The propensity to destroy the peace. On August 18, I also had the opportunity to attend the commemoration of the 20 years of peace since it was signed. The peace accord was signed in Ghana, and we were celebrating 20 years of peace. So, I mean, we journalists should continue to preach peace, should be very professional in dispatching our duties.
Okay, so besides you as a journalist, you see any of your colleagues there?
Yes, one of my colleagues to join me, but in the female bathroom, it was a little bit different. So we have familiar faces here. Mark McGoffrey, Vivian Cole, Lena Doodle from College, and we have Grace from Inquirer. Hessin Jeda is also here representing the Reporters Association of Liberia. Yes. Okay, so I thought this should have been inclusive of security personnel as well. Are they present? Well, I don't want to speak to that because this one is for the role of the media in civil society organizations. So if they will have another meeting for the security, maybe they will. That I want to, we have no idea. I have no idea on that.
Okay, so it is my hope that journalists will not allow the host or the organizers to sugarcoat. Let them name and shame media organizations that will involve themselves into ultra broadcast activities at the expense of the peace of Liberia. There's no need to keep seeing the media point at them.
Yes, so it's like you are hearing here. His speech, decent campaign language, and indication of peaceful elections. So I just walked out of the hall to answer this call, and that's why because it's first speaker, Professor Kwame Kari, he's a professor of journalism and media, and he talked about media and elections in West Africa. So you'll find that we were told that these things happening, they happen in West Africa. They happen in West Africa, especially during this time. You'll find people, using a platform to, to politicians, people appreciate politicians, being very professional, insulting. I mean, if a politician asks you to push their agenda, I mean, why didn't do it? You have to, because this is just even. Why will you be, being unprofessional? So, I mean, he just thought about it. You actually, just brought this to my attention. So, the issue of indecent language on radio, we have to get away with it. The issue of indecent language on radio, we have to get away with it. He's from Ghana, and he displayed the pictures of those journalists, call themselves journalists, who have been tearing down, who have been behaving very unprofessional on radio, on social media, and they need and shame them. So I think we can, we could do the same. We could do the same. So people, if you want to be a journalist, you have to be you have to be yourself. Yes, you have to be. If you want to be a journalist, be a journalist. If you do not, because this is a noble profession. This is a noble profession. You cannot, continue to say you are a journalist and you are doing things that are far from being a journalist.
Okay, so you're there for the rest of what? Today is the first of 3 days, right?
No, it's actually 2 days for us and years of proposed, I think, one day for the civil society organization. But I just want to talk about this maybe before I can take leave of you. So the ECOWAS has a protocol, and this protocol, part of it says that government should provide subsidy for media institutions. So I mean, this is something that we can try to elevate the discussion, because it's happening in Sierra Leone. The Independent Media Foundation, the government of Sierra Leone subsidizes most of their projects, and this commission has been in existence for years. So my point is, it's possible if it can happen in Sierra Leone, it can also happen here. So I mean, ECOWAS too, they have a major role, because this is within the African, so they too can help, because you find out that many media institutions they are being compromised because of lack of funding, lack of support, especially private institutions. So you find some people will just be sponsoring programs of some of the programs on radio, and at the end of the day, that the institution becomes compromised. But what we were informed here today is that if things, and we've talked about this, and we'll always talk about it, if government provides subsidy for media institutions, I mean, they continue to be professional. They don't have to be, compromised in exercising their duties. So, and yes, the issue of debate was raised by one of our colleagues from SAAH Communications, Julius, and Julius, thank some civil society organizations for, organizing debate, and, for candidates coming on board to explain their manifesto. And in our own debate, when we funded the entire stuff, and it was followed by 16 congressmen. One of these members of the civil society organization, Adam Dempster, told us, he said 16 congressmen are currently following the debate at Silver Palace Hotel, and we were also 20,000 plus people were also watching on school and other, like public trust,
public radio
as well. So, but if you fund this kind of project, it means you have money. It's not that we really have money, but we want to see this as a duty, as patriotic citizens. So, Madam Ima from said yes, but maybe next time you want to do this, you could write sponsorship to help you, because it's very expensive to take this kind of project.
Yeah, sure,
So,
because it really broke me down financially. All my little things just went behind that presidential debate, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm also, I don't want to say a victim, but we're all doing it for the good of our country.
Okay, so before I take leave of you, please, you guys should not let the conference end without telling ECOWAS, through this commission president here, Mrs. Nkrumah, ECOWAS should also stop stop rushing in satisfying election results. You see the embarrassment in Sierra Leone. ECOWAS certified, and one of the beacon of democracy, the United States, said the election was stolen, and the current leadership has imposed themselves on the people based on that, visa restrictions, stuff like that. So ECOWAS too, as the labyrinth, like as a lot of people can say, if you're telling the cat not to eat the fish, tell the fish not to smell as well.
Yeah, it's something one of the colleagues agreed, but they did not really talk about it. We only talk about what you made, these protocols, so that states too can know what actually ECOWAS, is what ECOWAS is doing. And you put it right. Yes, we want to talk about it, and I will say, I don't want to blow my trumpet, but we reported what we saw in all of the irregularities. Yes, it was largely peaceful, but we talk about these things. We did interview, and at times I play some of the teasers on the radio. So yes, we'll continue to talk about this because yes, people raise the issue of pre-warning signs that the opposition raised. And then what did everyone do? So yeah, there was some response, but I just want to leave it as it is. But we will continue to raise up these issues so they can take note. They are taking note. They are people and willing to answer all of the questions, all of the hard questions, some of the so they are taking note. We know that it's going to reach our relevant authorities.
Thank you, Magdalene. Hope to see you in the next couple of days. To return to base. Thank you so much for your analysis.
Okay, all right. So my greetings to Princess, yes, thank you for sitting in and doing all of the assistance.
All right, Magdalene is there downtown Morovia and trying to if I'm attending a stakeholder meeting, what is the role of the media in electoral coverage? As a matter of fact, we put a strong media team together here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated, and we are about now in the concluding stage. That is, if the budget is approved by the CEO, to train our media personnel who will be placed at polling stations to give us certified results, provisional results, which are placed on the wall and assigned by all those who are there representing their respective political parties. That training is coming up very shortly. Besides that, State of the Nation is going senatorially. One of the senatorial candidates, in fact, two of the senatorial candidates, one from the CPP, Victoria Tolukwekwe, and one from the Unity Party, women paid before consented to meet one-on-one in a senatorial debate. We're still trying to catch all the CDC candidate and other independent and political party candidates contesting. They are about 8 or 9 persons wanting to be senator from Mosrado County. So we take a break to be right back. But first, good afternoon, Mr. SELLEE and Sis Magdalene. Sorry, Magdalene is not here. You got a generic text every time. Just copy and send it. I am currently seated and monitoring live from City, and with 22 days to election. And please, Grace, listen to the doctor's advice. Hey, that mean not supposed to. You know, that mean not supposed to. Oh, but yesterday I said goodbye to Tomogi, man, in a very grand style. Goodbye.
It's sorrowful.
Yeah, you're very sorrowful. Man, that's my staple. That's my staple. It is a regular meal for the weekend. Wow. There's somebody else look at me and just pour the whole thing like that. Yeah. It's not fair. I'm treated unfairly. This is very unfair to me. And yes, Derek Peterson, Peter Mulba, Harris Tobe, Emil Hammond, Councillor E. Thompson, Livingston Jr., and Viola Whiffy. All of you are tuning in this afternoon online. Of course, we are on air also on 96.1, the radio service of the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. There's a country falling apart. And unless we can act before it gets too late, let's listen once again. We take it from the top, and when we come back, we do analysis on the United Party campaign launch of 2023. This is Senzo.
I turn the light on. I turn it on.
Who's going to care for us? You know, I just got a text message from a very good friend who's still of the nation and Truth FM, and he asking whether he can be part of the team to be trained for electoral coverage that night. Hey, that one, by the time we say yes, what's the result from over the year? You say, look, my man, I was speaking out of CDC has won the election. I beg you, yeah. So the role we want you to play, and it's always your usual role. You've always reached out logistically. Anything you have, just give us food. And it is at the expense of state of the nation. At least 27 media practitioners, interns, and mainstream journalists will be rehearsed or will be retrained in electoral coverage. A country is falling apart. Let's do something quick. Yeah, Emma Hammer, thank you, man. Over the weekend, I just sat down and saw they are like pum 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 pum. When I look. My son want to take my Lone Star phone with yo, Daddy, I said no, leave it. This is untouchable. Okay, so let's bring this one down. This is the situation here. And on yesterday, September 18, 2023, the Unity Party launched its campaign. I don't know how many of you know that there was a coincidence that would have happened. In 2017, the Unity Party launched on September 16, 2017. And it was a huge downpour of rain. In 2023, the Unity Party launched the 17th of September, unlike 2017 when it launched on 16th. A near coincidence. And the two occasions witnessed heavy downpour of rain. And you know, one thing capture my attention. One thing capture my attention, and I want to talk to the person. And this person is. I saw a banner coming in from the south of West Point. Friends of Gifty Lama for Joseph Human Boakai, marching on to the streets at West Point of our place, marching on to the place to give support. So I've been joined by Gifty Lama's, the widow of Gifty Lama, the widow, sorry. I'm talking about Sylvester SAAH, former development superintendent for Mosrado, former commissioner of West Point Township. Sylvester, good afternoon to you. Sylvester, yes, the crowd politics now, we got used to it from 2005, and look what Cummings did in Margibi, look what the CDC did here, what the Unity Party did yesterday. But one thing captured my attention yesterday, the banner that was being carried by West Pointers with your late wife's name written on it, demanding justice and declaring support for Joseph Human Boakai. Were you in the group?
West Point to the 8 years.
Why you decided to memorialize your wife, your late wife that way?
Because my late wife was somebody who gave a lot to the West Point. She contributed a lot to the government of West Point, becoming the first female for West Point won the Mandela Washington Fellowship, and she was a devoted Christian. And the moment in which her life was wicked, it was so saddening to the people of West Point. So the people of West Point came out in the numbers because of the situation surrounding her death. People who have been tricking out to the opposition, especially the Unity Party, because the banner informed which her life was taken away.
Okay, so your critics believe they wanted you to take the money you used to print the banner. They say you would have taken that to do something to pay tuition of your children. But as a matter of fact, are they in the country or they left already for their maternal home, Ghana?
The banner you saw yesterday, it was the people who way of doing it. Not pay it. Even the t-shirt I wore, they came for the t-shirt. I did not pay a dime. It was the people of Western who printed that banner.
And you know, when I passed the grave bearing the remains of Gifty this morning in my community, that got me remember that, oh yes, the banner was carried and I needed to reach out to you. You still haven't getting over the reaction by one of your friends in one time, a member of the United Party, Eugene. But this is the audio when he described your reaction to your wife Deva as political. Just take a listen.
On Broad Street, workers of LRA ran away the rumor mill, all sorts of allegations and accusations and comments, including comments from the very first one of the lady in question. I know him, he has his political views, but if I were he, I would have far-lined my political views to move my work properly and to want to know the truth. He doesn't want to know the truth, he wants to know politics.
Now, okay, you hear that the clapping sound there are employees of the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. 1 year later, they all complained that they could not even afford their own breakfast. They had to put money together. You told me once upon a time that you didn't want to dignify Mr. Nangwe. You referred to him as an opportunist, but you wanted to have a moment in your mind to forgive him for that statement. Have you?
I say I don't want to dignify the statement that he made so years ago. And in fact, on the 1st of October, we'll be back in the 10 years since they murdered my wife. So now what I'm doing now is to clean the grave, and on a faithful day to go there and offer prayers to God and continue to cleanse those that were involved in her murder. And we continue to say whosoever that were involved in her murder will not go free. We are calling on all opposition because we know that the ruling party will lose this election. And we know that the next incoming president, November, is under commitment to ensure that those that were involved in the murder of my wife will be prosecuted. And they are around. We see them every day. We know them.
You know them?
They are around. I said they are around. We know them.
Professor, how will you know the murderers of your wife and remain silent?
Was involved. My wife was on murder. We don't have to say that. If the president go and say that you are boyfriend and girlfriend and they say that they've been working for out of the kids. So my wife was a successful murder. You listen to the number which I forgiven some years ago. You listen to the statement he made.
Anyway, sorry about that. We just need to memorialize Gifty in this manner. But did the unit to receive your crowd as you marched from West Point to Anthony Tottenham Stadium?
They were very, very impressed. They were very, very impressed. I even listened to the spokesman who I very, very impressed. Even my friend and brother Amos Stewart, everybody was impressed. Even all the United Party partisans that saw me that day, everybody was wishing to see Gifty also. People were running around taking pictures with me, mooning the sound of my way. Okay, so the welfare of the kids, are they in school in Ghana? Oh, they are in school. They just got promoted to the 10th grade. International school called Oni Francis International School, and my son just passed through.
Yes, around Bujumbura camp, right?
Yeah, they are international school and they are well taken care
of. Okay, Sylvester, let's wish for your wish to come true, but I wanted you to just you to memorialize your wife as you did on yesterday. Thank you so much. Since she was a very good friend of mine.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Okay, Sylvester Lama, widower of the late Gifty Lama, an assistant commissioner at the Liberia Revenue Authority, whose remains were found in a vehicle up a Broad Street with a workmate of the Liberia Revenue Authority. Okay, so the crowd yesterday, and that was what actually captured me, and Princess, the crowd yesterday should now tell everyone that no one dared brags about pulling crowd.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody. So this election, one memorable, I'm not talking about the slogans. The slogans, 2011, it was, it will hold, it will not hold. 2017 was this is our time. 2023, it is, they got so many slogans, fixer and rescue and stuff like that, right? But this one, what anybody should learn. For me, I'm a student of history. I don't know. I challenge some of you. You people didn't even know what did the UP launch in 2017. September 16, 2017. This year, September 17, 2023. On the 2 days it rained. And that did not stop the Unity Party people from coming out. In fact, crowd analysts are now saying if it had not rained, the anger of the people would have multiplied them to get outside or encouraged them to get outside if it had not rained heavily. So the one that got there, out there, was like, was like thrice the crowd in 2017. So that is it. That's your own analysis. But what I can tell you is that, man, let me tell you, everyone has worked around their own political strategies, and everyone, no one can now brag about. You see, one thing I don't understand, and while we were working in government, I was a presidential appointee, and by the time the government took over on January 22nd, there was a press release that came out on that by 12 midnight that all presidential appointees should see themselves relieved of their position and property turnover, GOL property turnover. I had done mine 2 weeks ahead because I knew what was happening. 2 weeks ahead. In fact, that coincided with the death of my mother twin sister. So I knew I would have been out of office when the new government takes over. So I turned everything over and I took over my private life. Some of you people who still don't believe, and you are bad morphing the people crowd on yesterday, you will be in that oblivion, or you'll be in that mindset until time will catch up with you. You will not even write your turnover notes. One of the cardinal rule of a professional, you should be drafting your turnover note. If it works, you turn over. If it doesn't work, well, you discard it. But to stay here and be saying, oh, people were coming, they brought people from Magibi, they brought people from this, they brought people from this. For me, if anybody comes from Magibi or Grand Bassa, if I'm not for you, I cannot get in truck to be trucked to Morovia just to attend a rally when I can attend it in where I live. Until you see, this is the problem. This is the point. Let nobody fool you. And there are some level-headed people, like Samuel Jackson. He's going to be here at 4 o'clock this afternoon. See what he wrote about the crowd yesterday. And there are some people who are equally posting. Do not be robbed by complacency. But you think, hey, my people, if I were in the ruling party, I would have jittered by that crowd yesterday. I would have jittered by the crowd called by comments in Magibi. Little Kakata, I would have jittered. I would have jittered. So, but see how angry the people were when they were coming.
Yeah, you know what you need to even get on the ring.
On the ring when they were coming. See how angry they were. I couldn't even remove my vehicle from my home and just watch online, and I saw the people going. Some of them soliloquizing, some of them blasting as if the president was before them under a heavy downpour of rain. In fact, as a result of the heavy downpour of rain, in my farm area, the water closed there. What's the water name? Willie? There was a life lost yesterday on the upper side because I saw a swarm, an ocean yesterday when I was coming from the farm. That's around 12 because I was coming to see Jason of the crowd because I needed to make analysis on the radio subsequently.
Sure.
And that's the reason why I came. And you sit there, the people who could possibly be affected directly, they are jittering, they are calling meetings upon meetings and changing strategies. sit there on the periphery, where when they even win to announce you as a government official, you're going to take the rest of that you the one seeing the people cry it's fake. For me, I don't do politics and that. And you gotta be mindful, you gotta be strong enough to admit like Samuel Jackson. I'm gonna read what Samuel said. I'll read what he said. He's a jaded supporter of George Weah right now as a result of that crowd. Yeah, Chief, we can take as a training, I mean to train you. No way. Oh, that one time call you say CDC if you win the election. I'm begging you. You think because I'm sick and I'm not thinking well? I can take you, sir. Let me just hold on. Let me take Samuel Jackson's statement.
You know, I was actually on the field yesterday.
Yeah?
I was actually on the field yesterday.
Well, you were there?
Oh, yeah. Because I never wanted
I see you in court. What happened? The place court?
No, you just turn the AC off, so it's better now.
No, please. No. If you keep telling me, sending me I'll call your name right now. Yeah, please. This was Sammy wrote. My good friend, a fatherly figure almost to me. This is what he wrote. Good morning, my fellow Liberians. At the age of 70, when you are close to your maker, he's speaking figuratively. That means, very close to your maker. Yeah. One must be honest and courageous. Those are the words to take home. Honest and courageous. That serves as an example for future generation. Meaning when you see the truth, say it. When you see the lie, say it. You will serve as an example for future generation. The tens of thousands of Liberians who brave the strong and incessant winds and walked in the sunny drench on Lynch Street sent Liberia a strong message. Send Liberia a strong message. This is men who have seen government take over. Some of them, as a result of that, he was incarcerated. This is a man who has worked for government. This is a man who braved the courage to go to the London School of Economics at 65 years. This is the man who is admitting the one that you people are not admitting. Eh? That's what he said. I believe the CDC, the SAAH, I support got that message. What message is it? The message is, this is the message. The tens of thousands of Liberians who braved the strong rains and walked in the sunny drainage on Lane Street sent Liberia a strong message. That's what you want people to do. Why is this person disturbing for?
They want you to call them.
Yeah. Imagine with a hardcore sedition. Government official on that rail. They will tell you, say, you the one who report for this. I beg you, yeah. I believe the CDC has all within its powers to win the election. We had made significant achievements. However, you see the contrast? However, if a significant base of support is shown in a way that has never been shown recent Liberian history, then we must truly pay attention. Oppositions are Liberians.
Sure.
The mayor is saying, do not trash what happened yesterday. Do not trash what happened yesterday. We need them to govern and run a truly liberal democracy. It's a credit to our administration that a massive opposition rally could occur in our democracy peacefully and no incident of violence. Well, you didn't have you didn't have any option to stop what. let me differ with when you can. You didn't have any option but to let the people do what it did because they did it for you, right? Liberians turned out in their numbers yesterday to make their statement, as we did on ours, September 7th. I salute them, even if I disagree with some of their position statements, but they are entitled to their views. I hope they respect mine. Well, I think the people will respect, maybe your side will, yeah? Let's live peaceably together. The country belongs to us all. Happy Monday. And you posted the crowd. the crowd. But guess what the CPP is saying also? The CPP is saying, the chairman of the CPP, Musa Hassan Belede, said the CPP has accepted the challenge of crowd politics at the ATS. So what next is there for CPP? CPP, let's analyze Musa's statement. What next? That means they themselves will do what others did already. And that's why he said, maybe the CPP graciously accepts the ATS crowd challenge, the past and the present versus the future. The final battle. That's why he said. So if you sit somewhere and then you believe that you are the one who the crowd, man, that is beyond us now. Everyone got the capability. And it's like a radio station. You see, we who in media business, we never despise a radio station because no matter what you do, no matter the content of the broadcast, you will have your listeners. And they are glued. They are tuned all the time to you. So you can't really, oh man, that station. What you can talk is the strength. The airwaves, the strength of the airwaves. What we look at, we root the airwave. We root the airwave. The biggest private radio station. We reach where others will not reach. Well, without internet, we reach to the people. You were here the last time somebody called from RTR between Riverside and Sino. I was here the last time when somebody called from Youthpoint Town. The road going towards the Sapo National Park headed towards Joasso and then to Zwedru and then the one going towards Button to Greenville. You were here the last time when somebody sent me text. They were listening loud and clearly in Johnstown. Just few, miles away before Vonjama when you're leaving from Banga. That is our strength. But we don't despise our other radio station because everyone has. So if even the debate we conducted, people came with their supporters.
Yeah.
You will need those supporters, and that is the chemistry of the election that Samuel Jackson is trying to portray to you people. But arrogantly, some of you are refusing it. But you will never know. You will never know the intricacies about turning over to another government. Y'all sit down there. Y'all sit down. You never know. Some of you will angrily just walk out. You will not leave turn over notes. But you know what? The thing what the people told me, a member of the opposition, when the opposition win, let me break this news to you people now. The opposition win, none of you people will leave this country until you submit to audit. That's why they're planning for you people. You will not leave from assistant minister level all the way to minister proper. Because this is what they beg you to do and you refuse to do it. You refuse to do it. You are rushing. And I intercepted this conversation. That's why if an opposition they got very BB. He said you will go. All right, let's see. By the time that by the time the results are announced, put a moratorium on travels, maybe designated government officials. Obviously, it has to be Mr. President outgoing. Obviously, it has to be the Minister of Finance and all government spending agencies, especially the how you call them? Oh, man, I'm just forgetting the name. The HIPIC ministries, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Mines and Energy, Ministry of Mines and Energy, Commerce, Health, Education, those ministries where the international community pumps more money. Yeah. You call them HIPIC ministries. You trust me, you will account. You will account. Hey, don't. If you don't account, give me any joy in the new government, I will not take it. You see what they got ready? Yeah. Okay, the next time you send me any more text, I will betray our friendship. You will run away on SM Brussels. Let's see what I play with Lee for you. Yeah, so that's it. Let's move on to the next one. Let's watch out for the CPP crowd challenge. So while I'm on my sick bed and I'm hearing, I'm hearing that the president left Accra yesterday for Paris, where he's transiting and is headed to the UN General Assembly. And there was a letter reportedly written by the Liberian mission in Washington, D.C. To produce $20,000 for the president's transition transit at the airport, Charles de Gaulle International Airport in Paris. Some of the money, according to that letter, the Liberian mission in New York has not refused, has not denied this one. So we take it on the level. Some of the money will go to airport services, and then the next one is airport salon for the president. Maybe haircut or pedicure or pedicure. Airport salon. Salon is, don't tell me say they're going to eat. Salon, no, they're not restaurant. It's to take care of your body, maybe facial, the nails, and then cut your hair. If that is the case, and I don't want to believe this one, I don't want to believe, let me help the CDC people, because no one has denied this one. No one has trashed it. Let me help with that PR. If this, and I hope this is not true, and I don't think that president can come to this level. I don't think he can come to this level to demand a $20,000 from a mission representing our government outside. I don't think so. That money is too small for our president. But for the sake of the argument, if it happened, this is equated to the greedy hunter scenario. You remember those days? 1992, 93, some posters used to come. The elephant hunter, the man killed the elephant. What is that? Yeah.
I saw that poster. But he's there asking for cricket.
Yes. But then you've been around for long, right? So he went to hunt. He killed an elephant. He killed two red deer. Oh, the elephant is on top of his head. The red deer on his shoulder. And then the poor man who hasn't been well was sitting on the roadside, and the man is aiming at the cricket, what he call grasshopper. And this elephant hunter came down on his knees to collect the cricket, to add it to his game, his catch for that day. If that's what happened, y'all get me correct. I'm saying I don't want to believe it happened. If that happened, that is the president I'm displaying to you people now. Greedy hunter. You can't do that. 20,000. Let me tell you. Let me give you my analysis and the reason why I say if it happened, then it is equated to greedy hunter. The president played for 8.5 million from PSG to AC Milan. 8.5 million euros. So I'm going back into history to tell you that this man has been seeing hard currency. He has been playing with it. He's been spending hard currency. 8.5 million euros all that time. The football this man play. If football have money then. But at least at the time, the economy could this is a considerable good amount of money. 8.5 million. PSG. Just go on the website. I'm just there Googling from 11 to Tunnel Clara, from Tunnel to Africa Sport, from Africa Sport to Tunnel Clara, from Tunnel Clara to now Lyon, AS Monaco, from AS Monaco to PSG, from PSG to AC Milan, from AC Milan straight to Chelsea, Man City, straight to Al Jazeera, and then he hang a boot on July 1, 2003. This is the AC Milan money I just called. That means this president, once upon a time, a footballer, have been playing with money, hard currency money. How can that man go to the airport, call a foreign mission? One of our missions to send him 20,000 hours for medicare or airport salon or services. The reason why he should not have done that, because the United Nations General Assembly is captured in the budget under the president's travel, means of travel. There's a budget line there, means of travel. Let me tell you, in the recast budget, the president has $14,597,386. Ministry of State, not the president, Ministry of State. Portion of that money goes to the president travel. In the 2000, the president travel budget, the Liberian people pay for that travel and amount to 1.6 million. The president travel 22. Go to the Ministry of Finance website. So, but under this budget, and you know there was some shortfall, right? And then they had to recast the budget. Under the recast budget, the president has $537,355 United States dollars for foreign travel. $537,355 for foreign travel. Then the DSA is $275,647 for daily sustenance allowance. The DSA is different from the travel expenses. The DSA is what you gave him daily to keep himself up. Yeah, I don't know how it looks now. But I used to. I took all these figures from the recast budget. That's the foreign travel. $537,355 foreign travel. Then the DSA, $275,645 DSA, foreign DSA. Now, $1.3 million for domestic travels. $1.3 million for domestic travels. Anybody should know why the president domestic travel money is higher than the foreign travel. You know now. When the president going out, dropping one or two things. Then the president DSA is doing the budget year now. For one whole budget year, I'm saying one trip. It's 700,000. The DSA is 700 freaking thousand bucks. DSA. A fiscal period. This money have passed in the budget. There's a budget shortfall and it's recast, and the legislature passed the recast, and the president signed it, meaning it became a law. That means, in fact, the UN General Assembly, it is carved in the national budget because it is a PIN occasion, PINNED. That means it's a special day in the calendar year that everybody can gather, like the spring meeting of the World Bank. Except on force majeure, that is natural occurrences or phenomena, but you have to go there. That means even before the budget is drafted, everybody knows, the Ministry of Finance knows the money must be there for the president's travel, General Assembly travel. How dare then the president would take all this money spend at least 3 days in Accra, I don't know for what reason, then later on takes flight to Paris on a charter flight. Something we never saw President SELLEE on a charter flight to Paris, spend some time there for transit, where you're not catching a new flight. You are not catching a new flight, except you want to, for the differences in time zone, you want to kill the time to land in New York by daylight. Well, okay, maybe if that's the reason, then they're there. Then with all these budgetary support, man, how dare will you be calling somebody to get $20,000? I don't want to believe that. If they're happy, then, well, I think this president was like, I'm tired, my people. I'm tired. Because this is unrealistic. This is inhumane to humanity. You can't do that. And get me right, I hope it is not true. If it is true, well, me, I give her now. 077-5144-278. 077-5144-278. Let me take a musical break. When I come, I'll take your response to these analysis. You know, today is the birthday of Alita Wiata Howard. Alita Wiata Howard of the United Party. Today is the birthday. I'm told you chilling downtown. So 07751444278. There's a country falling apart, and unless we act, it's gonna be late. Meanwhile, in the time frame, who's gonna care for us? Let's take this caller coming in. This caller is on. Hello.
How you doing?
Well, I'm doing good now, but I'm still not fully recovered. But thank God for my health.
I expect you will recover, and at least our sister.
No, don't. I tell you, I've not recovered fully, but I am.
I expect you will recover.
Oh, I thought you said thank God you have recovered.
No. To the point, Chris. People must be real here. You know, when you say the truth is better, it's not going to harm you. The crowd that I saw yesterday, they're not going to come out of Monrovia. But the crowd is not in Montina, in Toya District, in Lima County, in Bobby County, in Kasha, in Shreku. And, you know, they were just there for people to be having the rain and the people watching water. It was wonderful. That means the people are resolved to harmonize the 12 years of George Manawia, His Excellency. They have resolved to harmonize this 12 years just as they harmonized the SAAH of the civil servant. So the 20,000. Look, the president must be real with people here. You can't be using money for medicine. So you know that you're in a contract to do that thing? You say you want to buy and you would have done so that they do that one simple thing, they will make it work that way. That will pay huge money on that and go to other people, but you can't do in the contract and do the same. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me go to another caller. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello, okay.
Yeah. Let's hear you. What's your name, Chief?
Yeah, this is Lasante Roland Brogan. I call from Monrovia.
The Progressive. Let's hear you, Chief. Yeah. Thank you.
Recovery.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, people just want to those who have ears to hear, we hear, those who have eyes to see, will see. Yesterday, crowd. But see, and God laid that way on rain before, because had the rain not falling, they would say, oh, it was sunny, and people were bold, that was it.
No, leave that other politics you find. For me, I don't want to say that's why the rain came. The rain came. If that rain had not fallen, the human temperature of people would have fallen off yesterday. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, hold on. Let me link you with Noah Zhao Gibson. Noah, are you there? Okay, so Mr. Trouble, yeah, let's hear you while Noah is on the wait. Mm-hmm. What you call your crowd? You're not part of that crowd, though. You are not part of that crowd. No, your party, the United People's Party, declared support for George the second term.
the Unity Party.
How come I'm your friend and I'm in the media? I don't know you ever had a press conference. Man, you're not part of that crowd, please. Go, y'all go to your
I am part of that crowd. The United People's Party goes about who believe in genuine change.
Okay.
We never went to work for social justice in this country.
Okay.
Why will we support such a government that is bringing hardship on the people?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Trubet. Now, Noah's out Gibson.
Okay, I'm on now.
Yes, you are on. Like you live.
Let me begin first of all by saying that I wish you speedy recovery.
Thank you.
I think you are a very strong person, not well fully, and still being committed to what you believe in. And I think I want to thank you for that. And you are noted. I call you discipline here and personnel.
Thank you.
You always just tap people for saying the wrong thing on your platform. Nobody call on your platform. Just throw it like this.
No way.
So I wrote a similar apology on after to about the letter you wrote.
I mean, you can really remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's start with the discussion. Chris, as you are speaking historically, you are historicizing. I also want to help you historicize. Don't also forget, in 2011, the UP launched on September 17th.
Oh, really?
Yes, the UP launched on September 17th.
What a coincidence. What a coincidence.
And that was on a Saturday. The only difference from that September 17th that year and yesterday, September 17th, on 2011, September 17th, it did not rain. The sun shined to the extent that
yeah, I remember she told her to go back home.
Yeah, when people were thinking, so she could present her platform. It was right after the launch before she presented her platform, and even to read her platform, what your view, what of it. So the thing is, we like to tell people, CDC radio station, I wouldn't even mention now, and I wouldn't even mention of the individual. And maybe just this afternoon that the crowd we told yesterday surprises the crowd of CDC. Yes, we did that. But here's what I want people to know. We told people, I'm speaking authoritatively about the executive committee member of the UP, the Assistant Secretary for Social Welfare, and national member of the campaign. Here's what I want people to know. Yesterday, the Octopus campaign that have been pronounced by the UP from the beginning of this campaign showed or demonstrated yesterday that we are really on an Octopus move. In Fia, in Zozo, in Vanjama, in Zwetu, in Magini, who's still on the top, and the most interesting one was Zwetu. It's a good record when it comes to voting in criteria. Criterion have always voted overwhelmingly against the UP. But to see that kind of number turning out in Zwetu yesterday is a wake-up call. Look at in the US, people were on the street. So what we want to say is that that issue here in 2017, we put it. Unfortunately, we didn't win, and I don't know why we didn't win because of the internal revenue, but we pulled it. So we can tell you, come 2023 October 10th, is what we want to use.
You always get a Tima in your hand.
Yeah. Tima in my hand. Tima, you saw the weight of the Tima. One less argument people coming our way. Who is supporting you? The junkies who are really when Syrians are afraid of reading like this. And let me tell you, we conclude with this. I want to say something that I want to correct. We did not bring anybody. So even though you didn't say you were quoting people that they say people came from other countries. No, Chris, we didn't bring anybody from Monterrey. What you saw yesterday were things of the UP, but collaborating with the UP that in just Monterrey. Other people from you And please also accept that your good friend like is with us.
All right. Okay, thank you. At least I can take it.
No.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me go to Patrick. Hello. Oh, sorry, you missed out. Let's take more calls. 077-5144-278. State of the Nation. We take 5 more calls, and then we will take a break now for the next segment. This caller is on. Hello. Yeah. Yes, let's hear you. What's your name? George, let's hear you.
The last time I called on the show and I talked about the Sunday that the incoming ruling party were going to showcase, right? And not just to showcase. Our president there is just a signal, not to the decision, but to President Weah, that his time has already ended. And we just waiting for October 10th. The whole issue is we have to show that some of the nations that are still here, we just want to clear the mind that they need to come over. They need to be prepared. So we just give them. And as it is now, some of them are already convinced and they are coming over. So the percentage that left for President Weah, we will review that with this populating entire.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you. Next caller. Hello. Hello. What's going on? Hello. We take Okay. All right, Chief. I'll place a call. Thank you so much. Yes. Let's hear you.
I call for Crystal Police. It's very hard to get on your line.
Thank you so much, Crystal Police, Broville.
No.
Oh, all right. Let's hear you. No. Hey, listen to me. Hey, listen. I beg you. Just be diplomatic. Just say a station. Don't call anybody name here. Yeah, I beg you, Chief. I don't get tough. I beg you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I went to the station yesterday and listened to the analysis of the crowd. For me, they support the Unity Party for the analysis. But what it says yesterday, the crowd are on that speed. But not as that sufficient as to compare to the crowd because the situation is very huge for empty, but the stadium we were still. So I'm listening to them. Me, I'm a supporter of President Weah. And listen to the two and all opposition to get arguments from them. When
Chief, we don't want to go into your party history. I beg you, please go to the point. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Let's hear the next caller. Hello.
Yeah, how are you, sir?
Yeah, let's hear you.
I'm great. My name is Jacob King. I'm calling from Burustown, Makiri County, District 5.
Where is that Burustown?
It's located near one. We pass Peterstown.
Just say Peterstown. Just show one landmark that we can locate that town. Which way? You take the road from Jamaican Road?
Yeah, if you take the road from Jamaican, you will come and you go in that way. You see one side.
Okay. All right, let's hear you.
All right, Uncle Chris, yesterday, for we went together, we slept for 2 days before Sunday. And so, so Uncle J carried us and was so happy in his press. So they coming on towards him. Joseph Bagan number 1.
Okay, thank you. Let me take second to the last call. Hello. Yes.
My name is
Okay, let's hear you, Chief.
The cry yesterday, we actually for the cry yesterday, but one thing I said about the cry is we didn't refer on the body email. So I don't know, it is because some people that register in other countries, they were here too. Some personal friends too. But I want to make a point on the job we had them play for African school. And then he played for Marseille in France. He played for 3 teams in France.
He didn't play in Cote d'Ivoire?
No, he didn't play Cote d'Ivoire for that Russia for he played to Monaco. I mean for Cameroon to Monaco.
Okay, so I will show you the website. You go there and it will tell you the sports need, the team name here. I'm not disputing your correction, but okay, but he played in Cote d'Ivoire. They play that way. Yes. Hello? Yeah, let's hear you.
Thank you very much. This is because of the package thing. Let me say good afternoon to you and good afternoon to my sister on the studio.
Yeah, just hold on. Let me get merged with a caller. Okay, let's hear you now.
Thank you. I don't want to go in an argument with people from the Sackmore to say the block crowd or whatsoever that would benefit them. For me, what we went for yesterday and the nations were across, and the celebration and the gathering were all across Mama Liberia. It's not just limited to Monserrato, or it was not limited to Monserrato. All across Mama Liberia, it's the same country that kept us to celebrate. And in fact, there was another celebration right in my hotel, other districts, spectators, other cities.
Okay.
There's a gathering that of course, as part of that bureau, around the world. That was a bureau outside that bureau. They were celebrating yesterday. So people who come in for the other thing, that is not a crowd. I'm not here for a crowd, man. You see all FKG 2020 years. They don't beat you. They ain't still want to drive a crowd.
Okay. Enough is enough. Let me take the next caller on the line. Yes, Chief, let's hear you.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Very well. My sincere apology for your aid and speedy recovery.
Thank you so much.
I'm calling for my brother home today.
Okay, let's hear you.
The issue about the crowd argument, Patrick, look.
No, this is not Patrick, Chief.
I was just on the line with Patrick. The animal that is willing to die does not hear the alarm blow by the hunter. They have forgotten again. Let them continue to argue that the crowd was not realistic. Let them go ahead. I just got off a conversation with OCDC, I'm not going to call it him, who admitted to me that they have had 5 opinion polls across the country. They brought in their own international journalists to see that the process was credible, and everything was not in their interest. Because of the crowd yesterday, the politicians are jittery. They are calling a whole lot of meetings. The other guys out there saying, oh, it was not realistic. They are not the politicians. They are on the surface. Those who are the hardcore, they know what's going on. But let's prepare. There is. And I want to say congratulations to you for your professionalism. Those of us who are consumers of your broadcast and your entity listening to you, keep on your good work. Keep on your professional electoral policies. We are watching you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackson. Thank you so much. Thank you. 077. We can take Princess. Let's take 3 more, and then we can. Okay, so we take this one. Second, tear to the last. Let's hear you.
This is Mr. Lackey, and I just want to say get well soon. And thank you for the show.
How is Omar Komasa?
She's doing quite well. Thank you for asking. I hope your family doing too.
Yes, sure. Let's hear you, Mr. Lackey. I got your text. So I'm going to reply you right after my show.
Sounds great. Thank you much. Christopher, Liberia has this way of speaking. And lots of time when they speak, like they did yesterday, you just have to believe it across the board. Minnesota, United States of America, New Jersey, Georgia, you name it. People who are coming to vote, people who are not coming. The whole world was outside yesterday. So there's no way, even if you love CC more than yourself, that you can deny that Ring Street was flooded, but yet people were swimming and walking and dancing and yelling and telling everybody how much they are tired and they don't want to coach them, and they're going to win this time around because JMB is going to be the next president of Liberia. God bless you guys for the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have to call it a quit now. We can take the last one. Hello. Yeah, let's hear you.
My name is Evan Hammer and calling on casting this afternoon. Chris, let me appreciate you and analysis. Yesterday, car is not a sleep or anyone over. Even if you get up to 11 or up to 1 o'clock, you see the celebration. It's 1.5 hours who went for there, and you want to tell them, you know, where they see it because what we see is the work the rest is going on. So you can have anything of content out on the WhatsApp page. They will try to watch straight, and you see feed and follow for eat up place. So you don't look anything. All of us say, oh yeah, and that crowd so you better down for a real on the reach solve for yourself. You get a real good at 4. Could be a team for us. And so you don't want to look anything of content. So we hope and pray within 22 days of election, Labrador will straight to develop. Thank you so much.
22 days. Thank you. We can't take calls anymore. Yes, I'm sorry. We can't take calls anymore. Let's take this break to be right back. This is State of the Nation. My name is Chris, and I'm being assisted by Princess Zuza. Let's do a consolation call here. Brown Tati. Brown is an eminent person on the platform. Brown, we give you that leverage. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, but man, I want sympathy with you that they have to tell you not to eat or give.
Man, I can't even. I don't know why that thing came away, man.
When you were talking about that woman who came for that man, you need to open it out.
Yeah, I don't want to.
But you know, Chris, if anybody thinks that, you know, there are other people who joined it and work on yesterday with the crowd, there's something they are doing wrong with that person because that direction ring. So you guys don't get no work to do, just to go to people. So yes, that is something that is running with you.
Yeah.
So I mean, I regret that you're not eating over here anymore. But don't go so I did. I'm sure when you say what you over here, don't go so inside.
No, don't do that to me, man. Yeah? Don't do that to me. Okay, all right. The TA is the oil. The way we produce, the Lomambo produce the tabagi oil. Okay, we don't boil the palm. We let it get cooked with heat. Cover it, get heated up, and then you process it. You smash it. Then put hot water. The oil will drain. That oil that coming is already prepared as tabagi oil. When you boil it, then it is fresh oil, right? You see the difference between the two. So you can just, for health reason, something that I've been eating from.
You know, but you should just say that rare or there, but you're eating now, not people.
No,
you should put solar inside there, eat it, and I saw.
How will you treat me like that? Because I eat tabagi with cassava leaf. I eat tabagi with bitter ball, with beans, with water green. With pepper. You can't treat me like that, man. You know, sometimes I want some poke say something with yaki, you know what it was. Anyway, but I'm coping with it. It's a moment for me I have to live by. Let's take this guy from Grand Crew. Where is he? This guy here, who is defining charismatic individual.
But we just make them, or there's someone that just opportunity to get into the position, or not to say because they make it so tough, brave, or they make it to do that easy and leader. No. Different. You can manage affair, but to lead people, to move people in the community, there are few people that everybody get a kind of for charisma. No, that kind of charisma, like people charisma. Yeah.
There you go. A charismatic that better fighting all of that. So, oh my goodness. Yeah. You let a lot of men sitting there who were not born with English and more pronouncing charismatic. You say you saw the white man before, you can't pronounce charismatic.
He was collaborating.
No, but that was the best. That was the best way to clear the shame, man. You just laugh. To be frank, we're not easy on our guy. Okay, this is Ellen Johnson, SELLEE for the United States Congress, becoming the third Liberian president as far as history is concerned to me, to address the U.S. president, the U.S. Congress. William R. Talbot did it. Ellen Johnson, who else again? No, I think the second, eh? That's how a leader becomes brutal when you don't beg people patronage. That means I'm not here to just praise you. I'm not here to praise you. When you do the good thing, I'll do the good thing. So let me hear what the two presidents have to say about Firestone. Yeah, Firestone. Oh God, this thing. People can just distort the whole thing. Just where and Ellen reaction on Firestone, the way the both of them see Firestone. Oh. Okay, so let me see what it is. Is this? No, I can see it. Okay, so as soon as we get signal from Studio B, we will link Samuel Jackson or Polyphus Jackson, who is now in studio. We're going to go on air and online with this interview. What a bold Liberian statesman when it comes to politicking. But these are some of his audio. Let me see whether I can get one or two from here. Oh my goodness. Let me see what I can take them on. Just, yeah, our big just saying that look at me, I play in first voice. Eh? Let me play another one. Hello? Yeah. Yeah, just talk quickly. I'm on a video. Okay, Chief. Okay, I'll call you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's bring this one down. We got signal now. Oh, crystal clear video coming in from Studio B to Studio One. Yeah, is the analyst man, an economist, an alumni of the London School of Economics and urban, I don't know, urban management or city, something like that. But let's hear from the horse's mouth. Good afternoon to you, Chief. You can, yeah. Okay, so yes, I'm hearing you. You can hear me. Okay, good. Okay, that's good. Urban economics.
In economics and business administration. I have 2 undergraduate degrees, banking and economics, and then I have the MSc in cities, which is sustainable cities and communities, from the London School of Economics. And of course, I have a diploma in international economics also from the American Institute of Banking.
Thank you so much. You see, one thing I've always I got myself glued to you is at the age you are, you're still wanting to learn, and man, that degree from the London School of Economics was a resounding example of any young man who wants to be like Samuel Jackson in terms of preparing yourself for the new world challenges. So every time you come here, I like to mention that. So welcome again on State of the Nation. This is happening to be your
thank you very much, Christopher. Even though we have a good personal relationship, but when I come here, you always play my past Of course, but I mean, my response to that is that politics is dynamics, and what you felt yesterday may not be how you feel today. And politics, I mean, does make strange bedfellows. So I am just basically towing the line in the political economy where, former adversaries can become, I mean, current allies and so forth and so forth. So if you play the Costa speech, about the tribalism of Joe Boyka, or you play Eugene Fagon, all of the praises he gave to the CDC government, okay, and what he said about Joe Boyka being a tribalist. Look, politics is dynamics. Nothing is permanent. And you and your wife or girlfriend or spouse, you can make any kind of flower. You can call all kinds of names. But then, of course, the thing is about making compromises in life and not having those permanent enemies, but just permanent interest for people. So
lesson in this is that I think the way you saw some where you no
because he's done a fantastic job over the last 2.5, 3 years since I did that. He's a good study. He brought you the Liberian economy, macroeconomic stability. He put you into the credit facility of the IMF. He's giving you multiple World Bank loans and grants. Okay, he's giving you the stable exchange rate in terms of as chairman of the economic management team. He's brought inflation down from high double digits down to low single digits. Okay, he kept the price of rice for 48 months at $13 for a 25 kg bag.
It's $13.
I mean, I say he kept it. He kept it.
No, but it is not at 17.
Of course, it's gone because of the exogenous, factors related to the war in Ukraine. Exactly. But I'm saying, but for 48 consecutive months, the government of Liberia under the George Weah administration maintained the price of rice at $13 for a 25 kg. It was only because of the unavoidable circumstances in dealing with the Ukraine war. That's what I mean. Global commodity prices went up because of the economic, social, and political risks associated with the war in Ukraine, and you had disruptions in the global value chain because of the Ukraine war. So rice prices, in fact, we have the lowest rice price in the Mana River Union and in the ECOWAS sub-region. That's the fact. Yeah.
Okay.
And we have ample supplies of rice on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, because of the low prices of rice in Liberia, we're effectively providing subsidy to many of the border towns in Sierra Leone, Guinea, and La Cote d'Ivoire because of the low price of rice in Liberia.
Okay, thank you very much. And just brought us to the debate now, and all of these things. I want every time you come here, I want you to justify the reason why you think Mr. Weah should have a second term. And as you just gone into it, there have been last time you released list of several investment intervention. Not many people knew about that, and you ignited a debate, which you try to keep the balance. And so we are 23. I hope I'm correct. 23 days away from the election. Mm-hmm. Everyone is on their feet. I mean, on their toes, nervously. Myself, every time I wake up, I'm nervous. I mean, we are. The elections are at the doorstep. This is your statement you just released, and you send me a copy in my WhatsApp, and you publish it on your wall. That the crowd you saw yesterday, a Unity Party crowd, send a message to those who are in government or those who are seeking to retain themselves.
No, but that's not exactly what I said.
No, but
I don't want you to paraphrase and
you want me to read
I don't want you to let me explain what I said, right?
Okay,
and I was very, very clear about that. Okay. What I try to explain to people is that at the age of 70, I have to be very frank and honest and brutally honest about things in the country. And I don't give a hang about stepping on toes, So first of all, the first thing that we have to give credit to is the tens of thousands of people who brave the torrential rains, and walk in the sunny drainage on Lane Street to express their political franchise in terms of their rights, okay, the human rights, their freedom of expression, freedom of association, and all of that happened. And then that was a resounding message in favor of Joe Boycott. So, and we must accept that. So, we were elected. When I say we, the CDC administration was elected in 2017 with 60% of the votes, right? And to see that kind of outpouring of support for a nearly octogenarian candidate, okay, an 80-year-old man, an 80-year-old man. So it represents some anger and frustrations within the body politic. So that's the first message. But as far as I'm concerned, the greater message, as far as I'm concerned, that emanated from that was that the WEA administration superintended, okay, probably the largest opposition gathering in the history of Liberia. And the fact that that was done without any incidents of violence, anybody going to jail, anybody getting sick, and everybody went home safe and sound, that's a credit to this administration. To me, that's the narrative. Unequivocally, that is the narrative. And they have their point of view.
But they have an option.
What I'm saying, yeah, of course they have options, but don't forget September 7th, we also filled the stadium and there were an outflow of crowd. Definitely. You saw that also. You saw that also.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
If you're doing crowd politics and if you're looking at, we put out tens of thousands of people also. Don't forget the maximum capacity of that stadium is only 15,000. And the crowds overflowed into Lane Street.
You use a plain pitch, it has to be more than 15,000.
Exactly. So then
15,000 seated to watch a football game.
And we feel it, right? So, but
they're not jittered about you feeling it. You are the one who is so much concerned about them feeling it.
And I don't know whether you use the word jitter, but if I were, in terms of within the presidency, I would have some serious concerns because it shows some degree of momentum for Joe Boycott. There must be some degree of acceptance for Joe Boycott. Absolutely. And you cannot dismiss that, right? Because there are fundamental issues in this country. And even though Joe Boycott and the Unity Party, they don't have the capacity, and I would demonstrate in this interview where they fail, where they have 12 years to bring together macroeconomic stability, to provide jobs, to give us sustainable development, to provide a democratic space, and all of that they failed. There's 66 out of 68 concession agreements, and the fact that they did not leave us a middle class. They spent a lot of the time giving concession within the extractive sector with limited linkage to the Liberian economy, and they brought us to where we are because they did not prepare for the ultimate drawdown of unmilled troops that evaporated more than $200 million from aggregate demand from spending in the economy. And those jobs associated with that income, we had to fill it up. And we are responsible. Our administration, CDC, is responsible for our own security, for most of in terms of health administration, also for education, okay? The NGOs in this country, Christopher SELLEE, if you remember, they were building pit latrines for people and drawing the feet on the pit latrines for people to use the bathroom, right? And you saw that they were responsible for the security of the state. They trained our army. They paid our army. They gave they sent our military people abroad. And Liberia now is standing on its own, using its own source revenues and doing what? We are now effective peacekeepers in Mali and South Sudan. We are. All of that. It just after 2017. So Joe Boycott had an opportunity to fix the mess to let us in, but he said he was a parked car. He was a parked car for 12 years. And 6 years later, that's
what the opportunity did you have when you have the
as president of the Senate, right? President of the Senate. You don't just sit and fold your arms in the Senate, right? You have an office staff, and the Senate is a deliberative body. Will tell you in terms of what is going through. So you want to tell me that the president, vice president is not aware of the legislation flowing through that Senate, is not aware of the concession agreement flowing through that Senate, is not a...
No, but Mr. Jackson, Mr. Barker's argument has always been, not that he was not, but he didn't have the right to vote against. Okay. But the two presidents now that we have as president and vice president respectively sat and voted for those quote-unquote bylaws that you just mentioned.
So not having the right to vote does not send your mouth to spend time or your pen to spend time to right some wrongs within that deliberative body. So if you see something coming to the deliberative body that is hurtful and antithetical to national development, you must have consultation with your principal, which is your what? The president, right? And say to Madam President, this is where I stand. This is wrong for the economy. If Mr. Joe Barker can show us some memos, or he can show in his diary where he met Madam SELLEE, or where he wrote memos against the 66 out of 68 concession agreements, where he was against the PUP scandal. Remember the PUP, the public use permit scandal, where 1/3 of the forest area of Liberia was given out in fraudulent land deals. Did Joe Barker can come and tell us what was his position on the dozens of other reports that indicted members of the Unity Party government? If Joe Barker can come and tell us why they did not prosecute successfully and send anybody to jail while he was vice president. So if he wants to come and totally disclaim participation, then he should not be running on the Unity Party ticket. He should form his own party. But if he's running on the Unity Party ticket, and he's the standard bearer of the Unity Party, then he must bear responsibility for participating as the vice president in the government that brought us to where we are.
So if I can quote Ambassador Barker correctly, he didn't say they squandered. He said he used the collective pronoun we. We squandered some of the opportunities. He didn't
So let's look at that pronoun.
So that's accepting responsibility.
So if he squandered, then so then if you accept responsibility, there should be some punitive actions taken against you, some loss of privileges, right? And the loss of that privilege should be the fact that he should not be voted president of Liberia because clearly he participated in the failed system and he admitted. So that's contrition. But contrition, that must come with some degree of what? Punishment. And that punishment is Liberian people should reject Joe Barker from being president of the Republic of Liberia because he's squandered opportunities. Okay, so I cannot go to a judge and plead guilty. Okay, so what he should be asking for Liberian people now is for forgiveness. But I don't think the Liberian people are going to forgive him.
So, but here we are. You see, when you talk, the people always say when you point finger, the other one
exactly, and we're ready for that finger.
Yeah, President Weir is downtown Monrovia, Slipway to be specific, and he's there and begging the people of Slipway to forgive Josh, is it the district 7 representative, and for failing the people, but asking them to give him another chance. Why you couldn't tell the people that this man I made failure? I shouldn't be coming to you people to ask for forgiveness. Yeah, you. Why can't I make to some misfortune in the government? Then on that basis, you say no. We can forgive you. The only thing, we can forgive you, but you should not.
So then, they're apples and oranges, right? You're talking about a representative in a district versus the head of the national government, and which is the epitome of the personality of the state. Those are two different things, right? Solomon George, Solomon George is not running
The
to be
legislature.
president. There is only the people of that's district number 1, right? District 7. Only the people of District 7 will make that decision, but not.
So the reason, the commonality is the president should not speak. I mean, I apologize in asking the people. You should not even have gone there. Having admitted.
So, Mr. Weir, I'm not a spokesperson for Mr. Weir. I'm not part of the CDC government, but let me give you my personal opinion on the matter, right? Okay.
Please.
If Solomon George has done well for the people of District number 7, and they believe that he should be reelected, that is left up to them. I don't know what the specific issues in District number 7 are in terms of to dive deep what the needs of the ordinary men and women are, but I'm sure it will be like in any slum community in the country. And if the people of that community feel that Solomon George has been good to them, by all means, they should elect him. But if they feel that he's not been a good representative, then they should reject him. That's all I have to say on that matter. But let's go back to Mr. Joe Burkhardt, who was running for national office.
No, but we got to do some. We got to do some comparison. It is. I don't fact on why you don't want to believe that a person wanting to go in the legislature is as important as a president.
I never said that, but that's apples and oranges in terms of proportionality.
But the president's involvement makes it.
Yeah, but
like an apple.
Because the thing is, you don't expect the president not to support a candidate who was nominated by people in the district. Remember that? But
what nominating when he admitted failure? Why can't you be like Dusty Willacoli? Then District 4. He admitted that he failed the people and was not going for a rerun.
Solomon George was nominated, despite what you said, because there was a nominating convention, right? A nominating process. Am I correct? So the people of the district in the CDC saw fit to what? To re-nominate him for that position. So I'm not going to second guess the people of District number 7 because I have no fish to fry in District number 7, but I have a fish to fry in the national agenda that Joe Burkhardt represented under the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration. And using his own words, he was a park car, he was a squanderer. Then he must answer. He must answer for the 12 years of the failed leadership of the Ellen Johnson.
I don't know whether he actually, but this man has repeatedly explained this figurative expression. I don't know how many times he's going to explain, but this is what he has always said, and he's on record when he appeared on the True Breakfast Show. He said, let me just paraphrase. If you want to know a car can speed,
okay,
put it on the road.
But I'm sure you have a car, right? And if you park that car in the garage for 12 years without turning in the key in the ignition, and then you add another 6 years, that's 18 years. Do you think you can just go and put the key in the ignition and start the car? Let me tell you what the sound you're going to be hearing. It will be rusty because that car has not been oiled, it has not run, it's sitting out there. And the human brain, if the human brain is not exercised, and the human brain, then the human brain atrophies, right? It just goes bad, right? So let's put that to, let's use this own metaphor. The metaphor for automobile being that he was a parked car. He was a parked car for 12 years. So why was he a parked car for 12 years? Was that so? Is he seeing that he was marginalized in terms of the Union Party administration? That he did not,
the structure of the Liberian government, he could not be the final decision maker.
So then,
that's why he meant.
Then, Vice President,
you were here 2 years ago. Vice President complained of being marginalized, and people even went further to play fun of it. That her vehicle, in fact, her vehicle was not only parked; the engines were removed.
So thank you, but at least her muff did not go spend time.
What month spent time? You ever talk
the vice president has been vocal, and the vice president. So she was not a parked car. unlike Mr. Boycott. She sent out signals to the administration, to the presidency, and to people within the CDC that she was not being used effectively. And that message went out. And now there's an amicable political, social, right, and personal relationship between the president and his running mate. There's a symbiotic relationship, and he renominated her. Huh? But Joe Boycott, did you hear Joe Boycott make any statement? Did you hear? Do you know of any schism between Ellen Sirleaf and Joe Boycott? What Joe Boycott is actually saying is that Ellen marginalized me, and I did not have the courage. But I must be, because if you saying you are a park card, you did not participate, right? It means that somebody stopped you from participation. So if somebody stopped you from participation, who is that? Which is the guilty party? So if Ellen Johnson is the guilty party, then no wonder why Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did not support Mr. Boycott in 2017. So we need to be asking Mrs. Sirleaf, why did you keep Mr. Boycott as a parked car? Because we know Ellen to be a woman who's highly interested in using capacity and human resources. If Ellen did not use Joe Boycott, there must be a reason why Joe Boycott was not used. Because Ellen, as you know, she built a big tent. She brought everybody, even opposition politicians like Samuel Twer. Again, I basically came under her tent. So if Joe Boycott, was put as a parked car, that means Ellen had a reason. And the fact that Ellen did not support him, so my visceral reaction to that is maybe Madam Sirleaf understand the incompetence of Joe Boycott. That's the only thing that I can attribute that to. Why was he a parked car for 12 years under an administration who for 6 years brought in some degree of macroeconomic stability, gave us debt forgiveness, and then in the second term, they started to do things like the 66 out of 68 concession agreements, the jobless growth, the PUP scandal, and all of those things. And Mr. Boycott must also respond to the ADA lab $30 million, if you remember that, right? So what explanation has he given in that is palpable, that is reasonable, that he's giving?
So who should be accounting for it other than when they're nameless? When they're Macintosh, sorry.
Fair enough.
We should be responding other than
So what was Mr. Joe Boycott's role in agriculture, right? So let's look at his area of expertise, right? His area of expertise, his vaunted area of expertise is agriculture, right? That's what he was, Minister of Agriculture. So then let's look at the agricultural development plan in the 12 years of the Ellen administration. Now, the definitive agricultural development plan for the Ellen administration was the Liberia Agricultural Sector Investment Plan, where the United States government, through UC, spent over $200 million. Now, my question to you and to the voters out there is that after 2017, was Liberia self-sufficient in rice production? Did Liberia produce more cassava in 2017 than is being produced today? Was there a cassava strategy? Was there an Edo strategy? Was there a rice strategy? Was there a value chain to move up and process agricultural output for Liberia to become a net exporter of agricultural products? Were these done? Were there jobs created within the agriculture sector? Because Joe Boycott is an agriculturist. So it doesn't mean I'm an economist, right? If you ask me what I have done, I would tell you I wrote a book, number one, right? I will also tell you that I was on the United Nations high-level panel and we produced the Sustainable Development Goals, right? So I will tell you what I have achieved, right, over the period of my time in government. And I will tell you that in 1980, I was the young minister who brought about the revitalization of the PL 480, the Public Law 480 program that gave Liberia $5 million of free rice. And I can tell you in 2003, I was the one responsible to minimize the effects of economic sanctions that were put on the Taylor government by the United Nations, okay? And I was also involved in what? Bringing about an orderly transition that produced the Accra Comprehensive Peace Agreement. These are my achievements. These are things that are on my CV. What are things that are on Mr. Boyka's CV related to his area of expertise that he can show demonstrably, measurably, that he's been contributing to agricultural development in Liberia? So let us see that. That's all I'm saying, right? And guess what? I'm not saying this to be nasty. This is a political season. I have a great deal of respect for Mr. Boyka. He's a great family man. He's a deacon in Efton Baptist Church, less than a mile away from here. He raised 2 wonderful children, but I think he's a failed politician. He's part of the political process that has undermined economic development in this country, and people must bring him to book. People must bring him to book. He should not get a free ride, because what Mr. Boyka is trying to
bring it in terms of what?
To be like a political unknown. Like he was this park car, poor little me. Ellen give me no time to do anything. If y'all give me the chance, I would do this, I would do this, I would do this, I would do this. But we're saying you've been 50 years in the governance structure. What did you bring to bear in the governance structure that is identified with you in your area of expertise, which is agriculture?
Okay, State of the Nation on Truth FM 96.1. Samuel P. Jackson is a Liberian economist and wishing for we are second term and is leaving those 2 on turn. We are having a conversation here on the possibility of a CDC win. I think you talk a little bit, more about the Alex Cummings' own involvement in these elections. He has managed to catapult himself as among the first 4 runners of these elections.
Is he still in the race? Cummings still in the race? I haven't seen this guy. I thought to be.
Yes, he's in a race.
I thought he was
in
doing
a race.
like a
and he's doing something new.
What is that?
What, going to homes and asking the people one-on-one.
Okay, so let's see how that turns out on October 10th. But I don't feel him. Maybe the people feel him. I live in Liberia. I haven't seen him in my neighborhood, and I wish him good luck. He's not a bad guy. I think he's great person of success in corporate America. But I don't think that great person of success has been translated into a political acumen to create a political organization that can win in Liberia. And maybe he's running a Atlanta-style campaign where he's hugging and kissing babies, but that may not work in a West African, impoverished country. So I think that's why he may not be getting traction. Because if he were to do any kind of scientific polling, you will see that Mr. Cummings is probably a distant 3rd or a distant 4th in his race. And I'm almost sure that Tiawan Gonglu may even best him.
Louis would disagree with you on that. Louis has expressed optimism about a runoff in which they will find themselves in a runoff and could eventually win the elections.
Well, okay, so basically, I wish him good luck. I'm supporting my candidate, but I'm telling you, Mr. Cummings appears invisible to me. I don't know whether he's still in the race. I haven't seen anything that he's done that is anything that would be connecting to the electorate. I don't see that, and that's my opinion. I've been in this game for over 40 years. I've seen campaigns, and I've seen campaigns. I've never seen one like this before. And of course, so let's see what happens to Mr. Cummings on October 10th.
Okay. All right. So this is State of the Nation. So a few questions before we open the lines, Mr. Jackson. State of the Nation, this platform organized the first presidential debate since these elections were announced. 8 out of 20 presidential candidates appear, and all of them, except for one, push for, they said they will support President War Crime Court. They included Mr. Tiawan Gonglu, Clarence Moniba, Alexander Colley, Sheikh Kuyate, and the list goes on and on. And it seems not to be a good thing for Mr. Weah to always keep away from debate. Why are you people micromanaging this man from
Okay,
attending
so first of
debates.
all, let's look at the construct. The question you just asked about the war crimes, right?
That
Okay,
was a
so
golden moment for you to
okay,
come and say why you didn't support this time and why you support
the
this.
position of Mr. Moniba in Tawan Gonglo is akin to being disingenuous, and I would go so far as saying dishonest for the following reasons. Tawan Gonglo was Solicitor General who read the act, they call it in the Miranda Act to Charles Taylor in 2006, right? That got Mr. Taylor a warlord of Liberia. Tawan Gonglo was keenly aware of the TRC, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and the recommendations. And he knew that his boss, Madam Salif, was banned from 30 years from participating in that. Clarence Moniba was an office assistant and became a minister with a portfolio in the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government. For 12 years, when you had on-mill forces here, 17,000 on-mill forces, when you had the full support of the international community here, you did not organize and execute a war crimes court on that kind of security arrangement. But now you have the warring sides trying to coexist under difficult circumstances, right? With the what I say, like underbelly maybe of division. Okay, we're trying to move to national reconciliation, right? So this is the war ended 2003. We signed the Accra Comprehensive Peace Agreement in August of 2003. This is 20 years later. You had two administrations, and Tawan Gonglo did not prosecute any war crime criminal. He did not prosecute any corrupt individual and send him to jail. And now he's talking about, I think what Tawan Gonglo and others may be trying to do is to try to do something that I believe will undermine the security of the state. Now, let's be very clear. I'm against impunity, but I'm also practical enough to know that what we signed in Accra in 2003 was the palaver hot approach and not the punitive approach to national reconciliation. A war crimes court, I think, would be too jarring. It will undermine the security of the state and will divide Liberian people because we all have our personal warlords. The Nibayans have Prince Johnson. The Granginas have George Bole. Okay. The people in Lufa have the Lufa Defense Force. And then the Lord, Kabina Jane, and others are here. So who wants to play that card again?
But the people said, well, to hear with all those things, they want the war crime court and they want a legislation about it. So it shouldn't be our worry.
No, that's our worry because the thing is that so far.
And I spoke just 1 minute. I spoke to Alan White once upon a time this show, and I raised similar thing about security and funding, and he said you are just one mile away from support for a war crime court in your country. That is a political will, a legislation. As a matter of fact, tomorrow there's going to be another committee hearing on ritualistic stuff in Africa by the U.S. committee. So why are we jittering? Why are we giving complaints when people are there to fund the process?
Okay, so why ask Mr. Alan White, who I don't know him, I never met him. I have a great deal of respect for him.
You have of him?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I know Alan White is ubiquitous all over Africa, putting his nose in all of these little conflicts and stuff. So, Mr. White, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf took power in 2006. She was president for 12 years. Why didn't you push with the same degree of passion that you're pushing under the Georgia administration? Why? And they cannot tell you why that Ellen, with all of the international support, the security apparatus, and the organizational strength of the United Nations in Liberia, if you could not operationalize a war crime court, you're going to do what George Manning Weah is responsible for state security. when we're trying to manage the stability of this country, when we're trying to manage national reconciliation, when we're trying to manage all these things, you want us to get the wrath of the Nima people by putting their son who they consider not a warlord but a savior, right? The people of love.
So why didn't you see all of these things and avoid telling the people, if I become president, I will do this?
So
you only said it because you want the people to vote.
So basically, there are two angles you have to look at things at. When you're running for the presidency, you're not getting a balcony view of things in the country, right? You're getting what we call an orchestra view because you're sitting down. But when you were sitting up and perch above, like the eagle looking at everything, you have a better understanding of all of the security risk, political risk, economic risk, and risk to unity in the country. So the president is now responsible for unity, right? To avoid schism, to look, you want us to take the monies that we want to build roads with to go and open up a war crimes court?
You're not the one looking for the money.
The international community will do that. Why didn't they do that between 2006
so
and 2016?
let's get outrightly say no, but we should not give reasons for the lack of the court based on money issue or funding, because funding will come eventually. All you need is political will. Come on.
So
let's create it through the legislature.
So then the legislature, since it's a representative government, and I don't see a legislature with the likes of Prince Johnson in there and other warlords, okay, other people, factional leaders, and like George Boley, okay, going in and voting themselves to get a war crime. But Prince Johnson said that he wants to see a war crime accelerate himself. But I don't see, how that would benefit Liberia economically, socially, politically, and provide the unity that we need to build this country by having something as divisive as a war crime code when you had a civil war that lasted for 14 years with almost everybody and their grandmother and grandfather involved in the Civil War. The approach, which is the Palava House approach, which is, even Ellen said she preferred that because Ellen was banned for 30 years by the TRC, right? She went to the Supreme Court and she said that the TRC that did not have the right to take away her constitutional rights. And she served us for 12 years. So now you are asking us, a government with using UNSOR's revenues to protect the security in this country, the stability in this country. And you're asking us to bring something as divisive as a war crime court to the fore? So I don't think we are prepared for that.
Final position on this, Mr. Jackson. You want us to do away with war crime court?
No, I never said that.
But it says it's a tool of divisiveness.
What I wanted to do it away with is the demagoguery associated with the war crime court. Because everyone and the grandmother knows that there will be no war crime court in Liberia. They know that.
Okay.
They're only doing that for agitation and for some people. That's $108 million funding, Christopher, that will come to the people who will set up that war crime court. You will see them here. They will have their offices. You will see them in their black robes. You will see them in their Land Cruiser Jeeps. And this is to be a way for 5 years of providing income to some unemployed lawyers and legal assistants in the United States, Europe, and other countries. This is not going to serve the Liberian people in any significant way, but we tend to divide us.
Okay, time is fast spent, and we can't. I can open the line. We've beyond the close mark now, but let's just do it at least 2 calls to hear you. What do you have to say? Yes, quickly.
Good afternoon, Chris.
Yes, let's hear you.
Yes, my name is Alpha BQ.
Let's hear you.
All right. So I want to ask the guest here. He talks about Waka not being competent and not performing at the time. But see, in the country when William B.S. Tubman was Tubman, and when he left from there, he saw William B.S. Tubman being performed, and he has been one of the best. Was he dead?
You mean Tubman?
When Tubman took over, he saw what he did, but when he was there, he was silent. No one knew what he was doing, what he was capable of doing until he got into position.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you a question. You talk about the Ukraine war. He does not know the tariff and the port there of which he's complaining. He should not be complaining as the economy when you know the tariff and the port is there.
All right. Okay.
People have to increase.
Let me take the next call quickly. Let me take the next call. We can take only 3 calls. Yes. Hello.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This is Mr. Leckett.
Yes.
I've been listening to this gentleman, Mr. Jackson, I guess his name is. Mr. Jackson is an economist with CDC and local economy. We try to explain this part thing. It's almost like somebody just froze in understanding that the man said he is not at the steering wheel. If he was in charge, he would have done A, B, and C. What's on that to not understand? He doesn't even know whether Mr. Cummings is running in Liberia. And you have to explain that to him. So where is he in the dark? Look, our country requires fairness. And he can't even be fair on the radio where everybody's listening to the state of the nation. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you. We'll do the last one. Hello. Hello. Sorry, you slipped out. We can do a constellation. 077514427 Samuel Jackson. This is the last call. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. This is
Quickly, please hurry up. Time is fast spent.
I want to ask Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, you said and should not go free. And now, President, we are allowed to liberate people by telling us that you are going to bring one country. So if you have your children if anyone of your children maybe does wrong and admit the fact, and the other one lie and go get that by lying, who will you accept?
Thank you.
Especially the Bible talks about lie. So if you lie, you must admit the fact. So Honorable Parker should be concerned, not President Weah.
Thank you. Okay, last call. Hello. Yeah, let's hear you quickly.
Thank you. This is Look, Chris. But every time you bring your over, it's he irritates me.
Mama, please, hey, please respect my guests. I beg you. No, please respect my guests. Please go to the point. Thank you. Thank you. A member of the Boycott team town is angry. I had to create a checkpoint for him.
No,
let's hear you.
Like they're emotional, right? And the reason why my voice irks them because it's filled with facts, right? And it's not filled with emotion. I told you that political adversaries can become allies, political allies in the scheme of things. You saw Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz. They were very, they were like, literally enemies of Donald Trump. Where Ted Cruz said, called Donald Trump to leave his wife alone. But these are the greatest allies today. Henry Costa called Joe Boyka a tribalist. Eugene Fangon called Joe Boyka a tribalist. So if we're going to things that people said about other people 3-4 years ago, this will never end. That's why forgiveness and moving ahead is something that even God said, forgive 70 times. Well, okay, so let's look at what they're talking about Joe Boyka. Okay.
You don't want to get you quoted about 70 times.
No,
but you don't want to
no. I'm talking about we can forgive Mr. Boycott, but not to reward him with the presidency. We can forgive him. Nobody going to go to a house and demand that he gave our money back since he was a parked car. He did nothing. So if I say I was on a job and I was a parked car and you took $2 million a year for 12 years, you took $24 million for free, and you did nothing as a parked car, all you did, you slept all day, That's what he said. And did I say that? Did I? No, Christopher, answer me, Bob.
No, I'm not going to answer you.
If you were a parked car and you did nothing for 12 years, and you say you were not associated with the running of the government, and all you did was take a paycheck and office support staff of $2 million a year for 12 years, which is $24 million, then let Joe Boyka refund our $24 million. That's what he should be doing.
Okay, so we will find out whether that was.
But I'm okay. So I could be wrong on the amount, but it was a significant amount of money.
Then you want me to answer you when you
no, but I'm saying numbers. Okay. So he had a salary. He had a salary, and he had support staff, and he had other people working with him. The budget, whatever that was, multiply it. Let's look at the 12 years. How much they pay him, and since he did not earn that money, that own muffle. He said he earned that money. So let him give our money back.
All right, thank you so much.
If he give us our money back, then we might forgive him.
Thank you so much, Samuel Jackson, a strategist for George. We are second term bid, and we come to the end of this interview. Princess Zuza was in the background giving assistance in place of Magdalene, who is on a workshop on the media role in these elections, which is going to on tomorrow. Thank you so much, Mr. Jackson. Thank you so much, Mrs. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, you're on the air, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson. Yeah, Mr. Jackson. Okay, so we go, Princess. Thank you so much for coming. See you tomorrow. Same time. All right, so we see you on tomorrow. This is a song that tells us that we have to go.